Cockatiel. The cockatiel, Nymphicus hollandicus, also known as the wiro/wiro or quarian, is a medium-sized parrot that is a member of its own branch of the cockatoo family endemic to Australia. They are prized as household pets and companion parrots throughout the world and are relatively easy to breed. As a caged bird, cockatiels are second in popularity only to the budgerigar. The cockatiel is the only member of the genus Nymphicus. It was previously unclear whether the cockatiel is a crested parakeet or small cockatoo. However, more recent molecular studies have assigned it to its own subfamily, Nymphicinae. It is, therefore, now classified as the smallest subfamily of the Cockatuidae, cockatoo family. Cockatiels are native to Australia, favoring the Australian wetlands, scrublands, and bushlands. Taxonomy and etymology. Originally described by Scottish writer and naturalist Robert Kerr in 1793 as Psittacus hollandicus, the cockatiel, or cockatiel, was moved to its own genus, Nymphicus, by Wagler in 1832. Its genus name reflects the experience of one of the earliest groups of Europeans to see the birds in their native habitat. The travelers thought the birds were so beautiful that they named them after mythical nymphs. The specific name Hollandicus refers to New Holland, a historic name for Australia. Its biological relationships were for a long time uncertain. It is now placed in a monotypic subfamily Nymphicinae, but was sometimes in the past classified among the Platycercinae, the broad-tailed parrots. This issue was settled with molecular studies. A 1984 study of protein allozymes signaled its closer relationship to cockatoos than to other parrots, and mitochondrial 12S rRNA sequence data places it among the Calypteryncinae, dark cockatoos, subfamily. The unique parakeet, meaning long-tailed parrot, morphological feature is a consequence of the decrease in size and accompanying change of ecological niche. Sequence analysis of intron 7 of the nuclear beta-fibrinogen gene, on the other hand, indicates that it may yet be distinct enough as to warrant recognition of the Nymphicinae rather than inclusion of the genus in the Calypteryncinae. The cockatiel is now biologically classified as a genuine member of Cockatuidae on account of sharing all of the cockatoo family's biological features, namely, the erectile crest, a gallbladder, powder down, suppressed cloudy layer, which precludes the display of blue and green structural colors, and facial feathers covering the sides of the beak, all of which are rarely found outside the family Cockatuidae. This biological relation to other cockatoos is further supported by the existence of at least one documented case of a successful hybrid between a cockatiel and a gala, another cockatoo species. Description: the cockatiel's distinctive crest expresses the animal's emotional state. The crest is dramatically vertical when the cockatiel is startled or excited, gently oblique in its neutral or relaxed state, and flattened close to the head when the animal is angry or defensive. The crest is also held flat but protrudes outward in the back when the cockatiel is trying to appear alluring or flirtatious. When the cockatiel is tired, the crest is seen positioned halfway upwards, with the tip of the crest usually curling upward. In contrast to most cockatoos, the cockatiel has long tail feathers roughly making up half of its total length. At 30 to 33 centimeters, 12 to 13 in, the cockatiel is the smallest of the cockatoos, which are generally larger at between 30 and 60 centimeters, 12 and 24 in. The normal gray or wild-type cockatiel's plumage is primarily gray with prominent white flashes on the outer edges of each wing. The face of the male is yellow or white, while the face of the female is primarily gray or light gray, and both sexes feature a round orange area on both ears, often referred to as cheddar cheeks. This orange coloration is generally vibrant in adult males, and often quite muted in females. Visual sexing is often possible with this variant of the bird. Cockatiels are relatively vocal birds, the calls of the male being more varied than that of the female. Cockatiels can be taught to sing specific melodies, to the extent that some cockatiels have been demonstrated synchronizing their melodies with the songs of humans and speak many words and phrases. They have also learned to imitate certain human or environmental sounds without being taught how to do so. Sexual dimorphism. Most wild cockatiel chicks and juveniles look female, and are virtually indistinguishable from the time of hatching until their first molting. They display horizontal yellow stripes or bars on the ventral surface of their tail feathers, yellow spots on the ventral surface of the primary flight feathers of their wings, a green-colored crested face, and a dull orange patch on each of their cheeks. However, some modern-day mutations are sex-linked to male and female chicks are easily distinguishable as soon as their feathers come in. Adult cockatiels with common coloring, gray body with yellow head, are sexually dimorphic, though to a lesser degree than many other avian species. This is only evident after the first molting, typically occurring about 6 to 9 months after hatching. The male loses the white or yellow barring and spots on the underside of his tail feathers and wings. The gray feathers on his cheeks and crest are replaced by bright yellow feathers, while the orange cheek patch becomes brighter and more distinct. The face and crest of the female will typically remain mostly gray with a yellowish tint, and a less vibrant orange cheek patch. Additionally, the female commonly retains the horizontal barring on the underside of her tail feathers. The color in cockatiels is derived from two pigments, melanin, which provides the gray color in the feathers, eyes, beak, and feet, and psittacofulvins, which provide the yellow color on the face and tail and the orange color of the cheek patch. The gray color of the melanin overrides the yellow and orange of the psittacofulvins when both are present. The melanin content decreases in the face of the males as they mature, allowing the yellow and orange psittacofulvins to be more visible, while an increase in melanin content in the tail causes the disappearance of the horizontal yellow tail bars. In addition to these visible characteristics, the vocalization of adult males is typically louder and more complex than that of females. But like most things, this isn't a hard and fast rule. Color mutations. Worldwide there are currently 22 cockatiel color mutations established in aviculture, of which 8 are exclusive to Australia. Mutations in captivity have emerged in various colors, some quite different from those observed in nature. Wild cockatiels are gray with visible differences between males and females. Male gray cockatiels typically have yellow heads while the female has a gray head. Juveniles tend to look like females with pinker beaks. The pied mutation first appeared in California in 1949. This mutation is a blotch of color on an otherwise solid-colored bird. For example, this may appear as a gray blotch on a yellow cockatiel. Lutino coloration was first seen in 1958. These birds lack the gray of their wild counterparts and are white to soft yellow. This is a popular color, due to inbreeding. These cockatiels often have a small bald patch behind their crests. The cinnamon mutation, first seen in the 1950s, is very similar in appearance to the gray. However, these birds have a warmer, browner coloring. Pearling was first seen in 1967. This is seen as a feather of one color with a different colored edge, such as gray feathers with yellow tips. This distinctive pattern is on a bird's wings or back. The albino color mutation is a lack of pigment. These birds are white with red eyes. Fallow cockatiels first appeared sometime in the 1970s. This mutation shows as a bird with cinnamon coloring with yellow sections. Other mutations include emerald/olive, dominant and recessive silver, and mutations exclusive to Australia: Australian fallow, faded, West Coast silver, dilute/pastel silver, East Coast silver, silver spangle, edged dilute, platinum, suffused, Australian olive, and pewter. Other mutations, such as face-altering mutations, include whiteface, pastelface, dominant yellow cheek, sex-linked yellow cheek, gold cheek, cream face, and the Australian yellow cheek. Cockatiel color mutations can become even more complex as one bird can have multiple color mutations. For example, a yellow lutino cockatiel may have pearling, white spots on its back and wings. This is a double mutation. An example of a quadruple mutation would be cinnamon cockatiel with yellowface coloring with pearling and pied markings. Distribution and habitat. Cockatiels are native to Australia, where they are found largely in arid or semi-arid country but always close to water. Largely nomadic, the species will move to where food and water is available. They are typically seen in pairs or small flocks. Sometimes, hundreds will flock around a single body of water. Wild cockatiels typically eat seeds, particularly acacia, wheat, sunflower and sorghum. To many farmers' dismay, they often eat cultivated crops. Cockatiels may be observed in and around western New South Wales and Queensland, Alice Springs, the Kimberley region and the northwestern corner of Western Australia. They are absent from the most fertile southwest and southeast corners of the country, the deepest Western Australian deserts, and Cape York Peninsula. I hope you enjoyed this video enough and it was informative. Please like the video and subscribe the channel. Introduce us to your friends. Good luck to you all.